A very good noon to one and all. Now, in this lecture, we will be studying about the various geometrical measurement, geometric measurement of workpieces. Now, in the present lecture, we will be discussing about the importance of geometric integrity of workpieces. Also, what are the various definitions related to the part geometry measurement, and then we will be discussing about the various symbols used to represent the geometric tolerancing, and also surface plate is most commonly used in workshops for the inspection purpose, so which is used as a datum surface. So we will see a brief discussion of surface plate, and then we will move on to the meaning of straightness and straightness tolerancing, and afterwards we will see what are the various straightness measurement methods. Okay, now let us understand the importance of geometric integrity of the components. So there is an increasing demand for product reliability and efficiency, which prominences the geometric integrity of components and assemblies. The components are to be produced as per the design. So these designs are very strict specifications, so that they function as expected. The measured components invariably contain various deviations from the nominal features, and these deviations must be controlled during manufacturing for functional reasons. So the various kinds of irregularities on the workpieces are broadly categorized into micro irregularities and macro irregularities. Okay, so the micro irregularities contain roughness and waviness on the surface of the components, and the macro irregularities encompass the errors of size and form of the components. The the deviation from the ideal form, normally known as form error or geometrical deviations, so is one of the many aspects affecting the component performance. So for example, the errors of cylindricity on the pistons used in hydraulic motors and pumps. So hydraulic pistons, okay, so they affect the efficiencies of the product. So if there are any deviations like out of roundness and out of cylindricity on the pistons, so they lead to increased friction or increased leakage, so that so the efficiencies of these products will definitely affect. So it is very essential that we should control the errors while manufacturing, and also it is essential that we should measure the various deviations to make that the components are within the prescribed tolerance limit. So in every engineering applications, we face the problem of measurement of geometrical features such as straightness, squareness, flatness, roundness, cylindricity, and parallelism, concentricity, runout, etc. etc. So in this lecture, we learn the methods used to measure the various geometrical features of engineering components. So particularly in this lecture, we will be discussing about the measurement of straightness. Now, let us try to understand the various definitions associated with the geometric deviations of the components. So, geometric deviation measurement of the components. So many times we use the term feature. A feature is a general term applied to the physical portion of a component, such as a surface or hole or a slot. So, and these features are generally part surfaces.
We
So,
have a
for
component
example, if you
like
have a
this.
component, so we have the particular
So we have
surface. So,
this
and the
particular
feature
surface,
means whether this
and
particular surface is straight
the
or cylindrical, or
feature
is there
means
any
whether
out
this
of
particular
roundness.
surface is
So such things
straight
are known as
or
a feature of
cylindrical,
component.
or is there
And
any out of
datum
roundness.
is
So such things
theoretically
are known
exact
as
plane or a
feature
point
of
or an
the
axis
component.
from which
And
a
a
dimension is
datum
measured.
is
So for
theoretically
example,
exact
when we
height
want to measure the height, so height
height
of
of
the
this
component, so it is
component.
essential
It
that
is
we should
essential
take
that
this
we
particular
should take this
surface as a
particular
reference.
surface as a
So
reference.
normally,
So what we do, we
what we
keep the
do, we keep the
component to
component
be
to be
measured
measured
on
on the
the
surface plate.
surface plate.
So this is the surface
So
plate,
the
and then with reference to this surface, we
surface
measure
plate.
the height of this component by using the appropriate instrumentation. So the surface plate, the top surface of the surface
And then
plate will act as a
with
datum.
reference to this surface,
So actually, the datum is a theoretically exact plane, or it could be point or an axis. So, but when we consider the top surface of the surface plate, again there will be variation due to the manufacturing variations. Now, this top surface, even though the variations are there on the top surface, now we try to control the deviations. It means manufacturing errors on the surface plate, and we try to achieve a very flat surface. So that means the surface plate is often used to simulate the datum. So the top surface of the surface plate is used as a datum, and that surface is simulated as a datum. Now a datum feature is nothing but a part feature that contacts a datum. Since datums are theoretically exact, we use datum features as the origin for the measurements. Now, in this diagram, we can see there is a surface plate. So, and there is a line which is a theoretical line, which is theoretically exact datum plane. And then on the surface, top surface of surface plate, again there are micro irregularities, okay, and we take the top surface as a simulated datum surface. And now the datum surface, the part surface on the part surface, we have the variations, okay, we have some variations. So the datum feature is on the part surface, and simulated datum is on the surface plate. Okay, now we should try to understand what is the meaning of datum reference frame. So it is a set of three mutually perpendicular datum planes. So it is a set of three mutually perpendicular planes. Okay, so a set of three mutually perpendicular planes, datum planes. Now this datum reference frame is very essential in order to measure the component properly. Now three mutually perpendicular datum plane means, so there is a one reference plane, and then we can keep another reference plane and a vertical reference plane perpendicular to this primary reference plane. Okay, so this is a so there is a primary reference plane or a reference plane number 1, and the angle should be 90 degrees. So the angle is 90 degree, and then perpendicular to these two, so we should provide another surface. So there is a second reference surface, and third reference surface is also there. So all the three are mutually perpendicular. Now we have to keep the workpiece which is to be inspected in this frame, and then we should use these three reference planes as references or datum surfaces, and then we should take the measurement. So for example, when you want to measure the height, so this horizontal surface is taken as a primary reference. So when we want to measure this particular distance, so again this plane is taken as a reference, and then distance is measured. And similarly, when we want to measure this distance, now this plane is taken as a reference, and then measurement is made. So there is a datum's reference plane, but how do we physically create a reference plane? So that we can use it during physical measurement. Now we can see here we have a surface plate. So this surface plate can be used as a primary reference surface or horizontal reference surface. Now angle plate, so we have to keep on the surface plate, so wherein this inclination is 90 degree. So now we have formed the vertical second reference surface. Similarly, we can keep one more angle plate here. So this forms the third reference surface. Now we can keep the component within this frame, and we can make the measurement. In some cases, only one reference plane may be required. In some cases, only one reference plane may be required. For example, we have the surface plate, and we want to measure only the height of the object. So in that case, we require only one reference plane. In some cases, two reference planes may be required. So two references may be required. In some cases, three reference planes may be required. So the three planes provide a common reference for the origin and the direction of measurement for draftsman, machinist, as well as inspector. For all these three personnel, the datum reference frame is required. So in order to show the various dimensions, okay, so again the draftsman will use a particular point as a reference. So with this reference, he gives all the dimensions. Also during the manufacturing in the machine shop, the operator will use the same reference point, and he will measure all the dimensions or give the cuts. And similarly, during inspection, the same reference frame is used during inspection by the inspector. Now we should understand that features on the workpiece can be external or it can be internal features. Okay, for example, the external feature means the diameter of a shaft. So this diameter is an external feature. So similarly, the height of the object is an external feature. So width of the object is an external feature. Or say we have some workpiece with some external feature like this profile, then this is also an external feature. So similarly, if you take an object wherein there is a some hole, so we have some hole here, so this hole diameter becomes the internal feature. Or maybe inside there is a tapered hole, so this is a tapered is on their internal feature. Or say there is a slot like this, so this is some internal feature. Okay, now we should understand what are the various symbols used in during geometric tolerancing, and all these tolerance symbols are as specified by various standards. So you can see here the different kinds of features are there, individual features, and you can see type of tolerances from form tolerance, profile tolerance, orientation, location, runout. And in the form we have a different characteristics like flatness. So we have the flatness, and this shows how the flatness is indicated on the drawings. And when you want to show the straightness, a horizontal line is used. And whenever we require to show the circularity or roundness, a circle is used, and cylindricity is shown by the symbol. Similarly, profile of a line can be shown, and profile of a surface can be shown by these particular symbols. So, and whenever two surfaces are to be made perpendicular, and we want to show the perpendicularity aspect, then we should use this inverted T symbol. And when angularity is to be known for example, we have some angular component like this, then the angularity shows in this particular symbol. And whenever we want to show that two lines or two surfaces should be parallel, then we use a particular similarity for location runout. These are the symbols, where symbols used. And there is a this is known as a feature control frame. Okay, so feature control frame. So first, in the first box, we have to write the symbol. We have to write the symbol corresponding to the required characteristic. For example, here we have used a circle with a plus, which indicates the position. So position characteristic and tolerance value on the diameter. And then this is a modifier, maximum material control. So like that, and this which is a reference datum for achieving this position. So that is mentioned in the last box. Now, in the machine shops, normally surface plates are used as a datum surfaces. So, surface plates are mostly rectangular, and they are rectangular shape having 4:3 length to width ratio. So, these plates are very rigid in design, and they are ribbed in the bottom surface, so that no warping takes place when heavy loads are placed on that. So the top surface of the plate is scraped to true flatness. A lot of care is taken during the manufacturing of these surface plates. Particularly the machining of the top surface of the surface plate. So and many a times the straight edges are used to check the flatness of the surface plates. Now you can see here we have this straight edge, and we can always use Prussian blue. So Prussian blue can be applied to this knife edge. Okay, and then the straight edge is moved along the surface of the surface plate. Wherever there are top peak points, Persian blue gets added to the top peaks, and then those peaks can be removed by scribing operations. So like this, we should scrap the surface so that it is made flat, very flat. And for big surface plates, leveling screws are provided for adjusting the top surface to truly horizontal. Now standard available sizes of plates are sizes vary from 100 by 100 millimeter to 2000 by 100 millimeter in 13 ranges. So all the four edges of the surface plates are finished straight and are square to each other, finished straight and square to each other. So according to the Indian standard, the surface plates are made by cast iron, and those are classified into two grades, so as a grade 1 and grade 2. So depending upon the requirement, if it is for inspection grade, for calibration grade, we should go for a grade 1. So if it is for measurement of flatness or straightness, we can go for the grade 2. And then surface plate is used to provide datum or a reference surface in most of the measurement activities carried out in the machine shops. Okay. Now let us move on to the geometric feature, straightness. So straightness of the component. So let us try to understand what is the meaning of straightness. So we can see here, a line is used, a line is said to be straight over a given length if all points on the line remain within the two lines drawn parallel to the general direction of the line in question, so separated by tolerance amount. So for example, this is a general direction of the line, and now on this line we have many points or maybe peaks and valleys are there. Now we have to draw two lines parallel to this general line, so which are separated by the tolerance amount. Say this tolerance amount is some 0.05 millimeter. Now if all the peaks and valleys on that particular line are well within this range, then we say that line is straight. Now straightness tolerance, it can be applied to an axis or it can be applied to a surface. Now we can see when it is applied to an axis, when the tolerance is applied to a axis. Say we have a cylindrical object like this, and there is a, this is axis. Okay. So and the size varies, diameter varies from 12 to 12.5. So diameter is varying from 12 to 12.5, and then the tolerance is specified like this. So there is a symbol for straightness, and then its value is 0.03 millimeter, and should be straight within this 30 microns. So what happens is, now the size of the component. Okay. Now this size maximum, it can be 12.5 as per the given tolerance on the size. So minimum is 12 and the maximum is 12.5. And then similarly, here at the center also it is 12.5. Now this total distance can go up to 12.53. Okay. So that means this is the axis, and we have another axis here for this particular portion. So this distance is 0.03 millimeter. So this is diameter tolerance zone. So this size can be up to 12.53. Now when the tolerance, so straightness tolerance is applied to the surface, then so we have this object, cylindrical object, and so again the size varies from 12 to 12.5. So this is 12 to 12.5 diameter. So now in actual practice, this is specified tolerance So when we manufacture the actual component can be like this. So the maximum size is it is 12.5 maximum material condition. So this is a 12.5 millimeter as per the given tolerance. And so this tolerance on the surface. So this is say 0.02 millimeter. Now this is tolerance on the size of the component, and this is tolerance on the feature, that is straightness. So this variation can be up to 0.02 millimeter, and similarly here it can be up to 0.02 millimeter. Okay. So at many times, many places, it is needed that work surfaces must be perfectly straight. For example, in the case of lathe, the tool must move in a straight path to generate a perfect cylinder. So this is possible only when the guideways are straight. And the guideways are straight, the carriage will move on this straight guideway, and then the cutting tool will give the cut on the workspace, and then we get cylinders. So if the guideways are not straight and some error is there, then the tool will also move in this fashion, so that we do not get the proper cutting. So we get a lot of errors on the workpieces. So now, in order to check whether the machine tool guideway is straight or not, we use many instruments and methods, so that we will study now. Now we should understand what is the meaning of straightness tolerance zone. We can see here we have a cylindrical object, and on this surface the straightness tolerance is given. It is zero point 0.1 millimeter. So what is the meaning of this? Now we have this cylinder, and we take one generator. So if you take one generator on this particular cylinder, so this variation should not exceed this zero point 0.1 millimeter. So this is the straightness tolerance. So that means this gap is 0.1 millimeter. Like this, we have to consider many generators. So we have to make measurements on many generators, and in all the generators, if the error is within zero point 0.1, then the cylinder is set to be a straight. Okay. Similarly, on the flat surfaces, planar surfaces, again on the surface the straightness tolerance is 0.01. That means on this surface, if you consider a line, okay, so all the variations in the vertical plane should be within this 0.01 millimeter. So if that is the case, we say this particular surface is straight. Now, having understood what is the meaning of straightness and straightness tolerance, now we will move to the measurement of straightness. So various methods and various devices are used to measure the straightness. Some of the methods are using straight edge. Some of the methods are using a straight edge. We can check the straightness and straight edge along with the slip gauges can be used to access the straightness, and we can also use spirit level and autocollimators for checking the straightness. Okay. So the spirit level can be used only on the horizontal surfaces. Whether a particular line on the horizontal surface is straight or not, whereas autocollimator can be used on all different planes. So it can be used for checking the straightness along horizontal axis. So horizontal planes as well as vertical planes. For example, in machine tools, say we have vertical guideways. So whether the vertical guideways are straight or not, that can be checked by using the autocollimator. And the recently, with the advancement of coordinate measuring mission and computer aided inspection, CMMs are used to check the straightness. And there are some methods, tests as per ASTM, like gap test, and then the total indicator readout, TIR test, and then finger roll test for checking the straightness of thin wires on rods and bars, thin wires and rods bars. So we will learn some of these methods. Now, by using a straight edge, how to check the straightness? Now, this straight edge is a rectangular or eye-shaped device with a beveled edge. So it looks like this. So we have this rectangular shape, and then one end is beveled like this with a small radius at this place, and then the straightness of this particular edge is well within 1 micron depending upon the length. Now these are made generally using with steel or cast iron, and they are available in different lengths, like half meter length or 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter. Okay, for example, when you want to measure the straightness of machine tool guideways, so this is a straight slide of the machine tool, and there is a machine bed wherein we have the guideways, and say we want to check whether the guideway is straight or not. So depending upon the size of the machine, this length of the guideway may be half meter, 1 meter or 2 meter. So throughout the length, whether the guideway is straight or not, that we want to check. So in that case, we can use these straight edges, and the straight edges can be placed on the guideway, and then straightness can be checked. Now we can use directly the straight edge on the machine tool bed or guideway. We can check, or sometimes along with the surface plate, the straight edge can be used for the measurement of straightness. Now, according to the Indian standard, so straight edges are provided in two grades. So grade A, so which are used for inspection purpose, and grade B for the workshop purpose. So by using Prussian blue and straight edge, the irregularities on the surface plate can be found, as I already explained. So in this photograph, which shows an eye-shaped straight edge, so this is a finished scraped surface. So this surface is used for checking purpose, and different lengths are possible to reduce the weight. The holes are made here, and you can also see some ribbing to increase the rigidity of the straight edges. Okay, so now for checking the straightness of the components, the straight edge is placed along the full length of the surface, and the two are viewed against the bright light. Now you can see here, this is workpiece, and we want to measure whether this top surface is straight or not. So in that case, we have to take this straight edge, and we have to keep it on the surface. On the other side, we should keep a light source, bright light source. And now whether the light is passing between the straight surface plate, top surface plate, and the knife edged straight edge. Okay, we have to check whether the light is passing in between the surface plate, top surface plate, and knife edged surface edge, straight edge. So that we have to observe light passing in the gap, we should observe. So if no light is passing, then the workpiece surface is straight. If there is some light, it indicates that there is some error, straightness error. A quantitative assessment can be made by observing the color of the light. So due to interference caused by diffraction of light while passing through the gap, the color of light changes. If the color is red, it indicates a gap of 1 to 2 microns, and if the color is blue, the gap is 7 to 8 microns. So in this way, we can check the straightness of the workpieces. Okay, workpiece surfaces. Now along with the straight edge, along with the slip gauge and the straight edge, we can check the straightness. So the procedure is like this. So we have to use a surface plate datum surface, and then this is component the straight edge of which it is to be checked. So this could be surface plate or a straight edge. Now here we have to keep the slip gauge. Say this is point number O 0, and then so we have to mark, say, see this is L I L. So we have to support this length at every points like this. We have to use another set of slip gauges, and we have to support like this. So that this distance is airy distance. So that the blending is minimum. So that the blending is minimum. Now we have to divide this distance into 10 equal parts. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So now the height of this particular slip gauge is say 10 millimeter, and the height of this particular set is say 11 millimeter. So now we know the height of this point number 0 is 10 millimeter, and here it is 11 millimeter. The height is 11 millimeter and the point number 10, but the height is 11 millimeter. Okay, so the theoretical height at this point will be 10.1, and here it is 10.2 and 10.3 10.4, and here it is 10.5. This is 10.6 10.7 10.8 10.9 and 11. So this is a height is 11. So this is 10 and this is 11. So theoretical heights we know. Now we have to use slip gauges, and we have to insert the slip gauges at all these points, and actually what is the height we have to measure, and then we can draw the graph. So this is the portion on the workpiece surface. Say this is point number 0 and up to 10. At a point 0 the height is 10 millimeter. And at a point number, at this point the height is 11 millimeter. So now we can join this by means of a straight line. Now actual distances, actual heights we have to measure by inserting slip gauges. Say this is 5. So at point number 1, say the height is 10.1, something like that. And here it is second point, third point, fourth point, fifth point, sixth, eighth, 9 and 10. This is 10th point. So if you join, then we get a line like this. Now we have to draw two lines, one passing through this peak and another one passing through this valley. So this gap gives us the straightness error of this particular edge. So this is a edge to be inspected. So what is the error in this particular edge can be obtained by this method. Now another method is by use of spirit level. So we can check the straightness of the component. Spirit level consists of a sealed glass tube, and it is mounted in the base. The inside surface of the tube is ground to the convex barrel as shown here, and this radius is a large radius, and then there is a scale engraved on this on the glass, and the tube is filled with either alcohol, and then there is a small air bubble. So this air bubble is always tries to remain at the topmost point. So if the base is perfectly horizontal, then the bubble will be at a center of the scale. And if it is tilted, if the spirit level is tilted, then it tries to occupy the topmost point. It always try to remain at the highest point of the tube. Highest point of the tube. These spirit levels they are used for leveling the machine tools, and they are also used to check the straightness of the surfaces. Now the test procedure is like this. The test can be carried out by using spirit level or auto collimator. The procedure remains same. The straightness of any surface could be determined by either of these instruments by measuring the relative angular positions of number of adjacent sections made on the surface to be tested. So what we have to do is we have to draw a line on the surface whose straightness is to be inspected like this. So this is the surface to be inspected, and here we have to draw a straight line, and then we have divide this straight line into number of equal parts. The distance between two adjacent lines being L. So this distance is L, where L is the distance between the base, the 2 feet on the spirit level. So this is a spirit level, and this is a glass tube with a bubble, and 2 feet will be provided on the autocollimator reflector surface or the spirit level. So this distance center distance is equal to the L. So by knowing this L, we can divide this line into equal number of parts, keeping the distance between two lines which is equal to L. Now the spirit level can be used only for the measurement of straightness along horizontal surfaces, whereas autocollimators can be used to check the straightness on vertical and inclined surfaces also. So in case of spirit level, the block is moved along the line on the surface to be tested in the steps equal to the pitch distance between the center lines of the feet. The angular variations are measured by the sensitive level. So that means in the first place, in the first position, so what is the reading of spirit level, that should be noted down, and then it is moved to the second section again. So what is the bubble reading, that should be noted. So this bubble in the spirit level reading will change when the straightness changes. So angular variations can be correlated in terms of difference of height between the 2 points by knowing the least count of the level and length of the base. Now with this we will conclude this session. So in this session we learnt about the importance of geometric tolerancing, and what are the terms associated with dimension feature measurement, and then we also learnt what are the various methods of measuring the straightness, and out of those methods we started the discussion on measurement of straightness by using the spirit level. So with this we will conclude. In the next session we will continue the discussion on straightness measurement by using various methods. Okay, thank you. So I hope everyone understand this. So read well, stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Bye.